top by CO, 364 contracts.
Bank of England's man says the decision to vote for a rate hike was not easy.
All right, good morning. You guys hear me in YouTube land? Please let me know.
Treasury Secretary Yellen says China poses a number of threats that the Treasury are concerned about.
Bueller. Thank you, Gabriel. I'll be back in a minute after the disclaimer stuff. If I can find it. Hold on.
Risk disclosure statement. There is a risk of loss in trading stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, derivatives, options, forex, and cryptocurrencies. This risk can be substantial, and therefore investors should carefully consider their financial stability prior to trading. Past performance is not indicative of future performance. The software, strategies, chat rooms, websites, and associated websites are digital aids for educational purposes only and should not be construed as an express or implied promise or guarantee that you will profit or that losses may be limited in any manner whatsoever. Users of the information accept sole responsibility for the outcomes of their deployment, and most Stops and Icebergs, LLC and any associated companies, agents, management, owners, and customers harmless without reservation. Please trade responsibly. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, CFTC, Rule 4.41, hypothetical and simulated trading performance results have certain inherent limitations, some of which are described herein. No representation is being made that any account holder is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those shown. In fact, there are frequently sharp differences between hypothetical or simulated performance results and the actual results subsequently achieved by any particular trading program. One of the limitations of hypothetical performance results is that they are generally prepared with the benefit of hindsight. In addition, hypothetical trading does not involve financial risk, and no hypothetical trading record can completely account for the impact of financial risk in actual trading. For example, the ability to withstand losses or adhere to a particular trading program in spite of trading losses are material points which can also adversely affect actual trading results. Because these trades have not actually been executed, the hypothetical results may have under or overcompensated for the impact, if any, of certain market factors such as lack of liquidity. There are numerous other factors related to the markets in general or to the implementation of any specific trading program which cannot be fully accounted for in simulated trading or in the preparation of hypothetical performance results and all, of which can adversely affect actual trading results.
This trade room and its webinars are not intended to mirror my trades or their specific trade recommendations. Analysis and subs I share are trades and potential trades that I'm taking for myself based on my personal analysis. The goal of this room is to teach traders how to identify specific areas to trade and for themselves, but ultimately the decision is yours. Trading is extremely risky, and if you decide to follow my personal trades, you do so at your own risk and can potentially lose your entire account and even more. I'm not always profitable and have routine drawdowns on my trading accounts. The spreadsheet you have access to is my personal spreadsheet that I use to enter zone values and ATR values and I'll be doing exact prices for my trades. You can see when I enter zone prices into the master spreadsheet as well as the prices to enter trades whether you want to go long or short. You have the ability to copy the spreadsheet and enter in your own values and use mine to confirm zone prices until you're able to draw the zones correctly yourself. The spreadsheet is not telling you which direction to trade as it has entry prices and stop prices for both long and short positions depending on which one you personally decide to trade. All right, good morning. There's an event here in NASDAQ on its way to the moon. Just goes up every single day. We'll go back to that. I'm actually currently long crude. There's a new event. I was long off this event. Two different trading strategies. I'm now going to trail my stop to this stop run that just fired off. 48 to 40 is the zone, so we plug that in our. This is my spreadsheet that is available to my trade room members, and you can get it as a subscription as well. Speaking of subscriptions, if you guys have access to that, I'll show you here in a second. There's been some problems with the site lately, last couple days, so if you're not getting the zones, I apologize. There's something with it. I think we got it fixed now, but there's been some issues with it, so I'll show it here in a second. So anyway, I'm going to trail my stop down to 75.22. So the way I trade these, where's my jar tool? So I was long off of this event. Got your ATR, your retest that we talk about all the time. This pattern is just insanely ridiculous as far as how many times it happens in a day. My stop is below here. I move my stop in ATR. So this is the new zone drawing tool too. We'll talk about this, the pro version. We'll talk about all this during this webinar. But anyway, my stop was down here for that, and now I have a new event, so I can move my stop up here, and you can see it's actually right on here. This should be pretty much the same price as in the spreadsheet. So this is showing me 75.21 and 75.22. So this is dynamically adapting to the to the ATR as well. So you can see the blue line is the ATR. So again, we'll cover this, but everything on here is in the spreadsheet that you see on the chart here. So I'll just move to 75.21 on the stop, which would be right there. And if this moves higher, I can actually add to this trade as well. We'll go over that, and then we'll go over the gold trade that I have on, and I was long, and then I flipped to short. Let me trail these stops real quick. So I got in at 75.20, right? So my original entry was down here, 75.20. So now this actually is a good segue into one of my traders in my room that just has been in there for a long time, and he's still making the same ridiculous mental mistakes that I tell traders all the time not to do, right? So in this case, I am moving my stop up to break even, but I'm not moving my stop to break even because I don't want to lose money. I'm moving my stop up to break even, Mason, because of something that happened in the market, not because I don't want to give back my profit or take a loss on the trade. It's in my favor. The market doesn't care what I want to lose or break even at, so on and so forth. The market cares about volume events and volatility. So stop getting algoed out, all you traders, and it's probably a very high percentage that get a trade in your favor and love to move your stop up to break even. That makes no sense. What do you think these algos are built for? They know traders do that. They know you're the retail trader. You guys are the people, the traders, and me, but I don't make that stupid mistake. I make a lot of dumb mistakes, but that's not one of them. That's what they build algos off of. They know traders trail their stops. So they come down, they pick off your stop, and then it continues to go. Stop doing that. And the guy in my room has absolutely no excuse. He's not a new trader in there. He's been in there for months, maybe a year. So that's just not acceptable. He already got his text lashing. I haven't had a chance to give him his verbal lashing yet. We'll probably save that for the afternoon. So this is just a little sampler. And he was teacher's pet earlier in the week. He knew one of my movie quotes, and now he's gone from teacher's pet to dunce in the corner with the dunce cap. All right, so this is the last setup that happened in NASDAQ. Let's get this in here. Really nothing going on in these equities. The yellow one was talking a little bit ago. We just had a number. The stop run was in right after the number. So let's plug this zone in, and then we'll break down where we're at and the thesis. And thesis is pretty clear, straight up every single day. It's lots of fun. Not. The ATR here is 15.68. That's fun if you're long. It's not fun if you're short. But that's what I'm always leaning towards because these markets are just nonsensical. But like I say all the time, it doesn't matter what you think should be happening here. It's happening to the upside. So you just got to deal with it. So you can see here, this is just, you had a failed breakdown of that structure. It tried to, kind of held this area, built more balance, then broke out of that balance. Now we're just building more balance now. So this just keeps looking higher and higher. If something were to happen here and this had a failed breakout of this little guy here, then I think it can come back to this stuff. We could have a decent sell-off, decent sell-off for the way it's been, right? A couple 100 points would be like a something
CM long validated.
something ridiculous, right? The way these markets are trading. But anyway, if this breaks out of here, I'll trade double size to the long side because of my thesis is lining up with the volume events. If I get the volume events bullish, right? And we have ways of judging that with the ATR. We'll go over that on the webinar. But right now, I don't know what this is. There's not much for me to do on the short side here based on my trading strategies, right? So these are my trading strategies. So what I do with the trading strategies, I look for my distinct setups. I have 6 distinct setups. That's the real-time action here in important areas, and that is what my trading strategies are, right? So this is number 1, this activity here, and this is all, I know I go over all this basic stuff every webinar, Bookmap webinar, but this is for more newer traders. Let me just get this going so I can show you. If you've heard me say this, what I'm going over 1,000 times, you guys got to deal with it because there's lots of new traders, so I'll just go over it. Hold on here, I'm just trying to bring this up so I can show you. Where is it at? Alright, so this is the course, right? So this the stuff I go over every day in my trade room and what I'm going over here, right? So this, if you want to fast track, you can come in my room and you can learn this stuff on the fly. I'm trading live. I don't slow down and do basics, so you're going to be lost. If you want to be up to speed or you want to learn what I'm doing, even if you don't come in my room, you can learn what I'm doing here. And again, this is all based on my experience as a very large scalper back in the day, trading millions of contracts over my career. Volume-wise, these are all based on that experience, right? So this is not hypothetical stuff. So we have distinct setups for these volume events. That's step one, right? Then I look for these setups in important areas. That's where the trading strategies come into play, right? So I used to tell you guys every week, I don't care what you're using. If you think it's powerful, that's great. Bollinger Bands, anything, Fibonacci, whatever the hell you guys are using that you think is worthwhile and powerful, that's fine. Make sure you get a volume event in those areas to confirm your area, right? So those are your important areas. So you can build your trade plan around what you think is important, but just make sure you get these volume events and it enhances the edge times 100, right? So even if you're a successful trader looking at bar charts, you'd be 10 times more successful, in my opinion, if you use this information. So that's my little mini rant on that. So let's see where we're at here. And then we'll go over the trades I already put on. I'm long crude right now, and I'm short gold. I was long, and then I flipped it back. So we'll go over these trades here in a second. I just want to see. These equities are just doing nothing right now. So these are the Ludwig levels. So let me share this too. So this is the new zone drawing tool. It's not beta anymore. We had a beta for like 2-3 months. You can get this on the marketplace now. We're coming out with the Pro tool, which is awesome. You're going to hear. I'll just cover this stuff now. So this is showing you the ATR reversion trades. These dotted lines here. It's showing you where the ATR is. It's telling you where you can get in the position trades as well. I have it at yellow. So this is all basically what's in the spreadsheet, but it's reading off. And then what's also great about this, it'll let me know when this so say I'm waiting to see which way this confirms, which I am, right? It'll let me know when it confirms this as a bearish setup. It'll confirm it. You'll hear it. We'll hear it on these webinars. You're going to hear about 40 of them probably on the webinar because I'm watching 20 different markets, but it'll let me know. You get the text, the text that reads off, the computer voice that reads off these SI events. It will tell me when this confirms to the downside. It'll also tell me when it retests, and then it'll tell me where it fails to. So here's a good example. So I was waiting for crude here a little bit ago, and I knew it moved away. It told me. It confirmed a bullish setup here, right here. Let's see. It's way back here. You can even see the retest there. So it's way back over here somewhere. There's a lot of stuff going on. So anyway, so it read off this happened. Then it let me know this was a bullish event. Then it let me know when it retested, right? CL long retested right there at 741. That's right there. That retested the zone. That's my requirements for certain strategies, or retest to confirm. And then it let me know when it moved out of there and I should be long right there. And it's saying long entered. It's not entering. It's not entering automatically. I still got to put the trade on with the spreadsheet and everything. But it's also showing me that I should have entered right there, and that's exactly where I entered. Right. So you'll see it's reading everything off. So what's great about it now, if you don't have the capacity, mental bandwidth to be watching at least five markets, which you should be, 3 to 5 markets, so you're not just pigeonholed into one crappy trading market that day, and you're putting on trades that are substandard, subpar, because there's nothing going on. You can broaden your horizons and start watching other markets. And if some traders just can't have that much information coming in, well, with this drawing tool, with the Pro version, it lets you know when a setup confirms. It lets you know when it retests. It lets you know when you should be getting in. So you can just hop over there and you can definitely watch more markets. So we'll see with this event. So I'm already long crude. I got long the bark and the lick. Actually, the liquidity trade I should be out of right now. Let's see if this can bust through here. But if this does this again to this event, then I will add to this trade. Let's see here. Yeah, and you can see this liquidity here. So these are 2 different trading strategies that I just showed you. 2 of the 8 or 9 that I have going right now. There's another 50 on the way, right? And we're just trying to get all these perfected, and traders have enough problems with just the ones I'm using. And guys, the whole idea of these is not to get in my room or learn these. and put on every single one, right? You know, until you are an expert at trading these things with the rules, and you know how to follow rules, and you don't do stupid crap like trailing your stop to break even. Until you can do that, I would not be trading more than, you know, 2 of these. Get really good at like a slug and a nizzy trade. We'll go over these trades, what these are, these strategies, and then add the lick, add the bark. But it's not come in the room or learn this stuff and then do everything at one time. Your head will be spinning, right? So these are everything. I can do it because these are the trades I've always done, right? And I put them down on paper finally. And like I said, there's another. These are coming, and there's another 50 behind it. But the point is, don't try to do everything at once. So anyway, what's going on here is I'm, you know, this market's bullish as far as the filter I do use for my bark and lick trades is algo guy. So this is an exponential moving. We call it algo guy, exponential moving average here. So one of the filters for my bark and lick trades is this has to be pointed in the same direction for me to take, like for instance in this case, long trades, and this is pointed in the same direction. You can see the blue, this is a short-term exponential moving average ribbon, and then this is a long-term, the red. Well, if the blue is above the red, that's bullish. So that is my filter for me. That's something that I find important to be able to put on these types of trades, the bark and the lick strategies, right? So I will put those on again. I'll add, I already have them on, I'll add to them if this happens, and I'm looking at for the lick trade, that's my final destination, or one of them anyway. There's nothing more up there. So I would get out of my full lick trade right there. My bark trade, I get out at more traditional areas as it moves in my favor. So, and this is what I will talk about this many times today on my rants. I pay myself as the market makes money available to me. So these are the levels that I find important where I will piece out as the trade moves in my favor, right? We'll go over this as if we get any trades on. I do have some on right now, like I said. So let me see something real quick. What am I doing here? All right, so I trailed my stop for this long, and they're doing something outside my window, by the way, on the street. I don't know what's going on out there, but it's going to be very annoying, so I apologize for that if you're hearing noises. Anyway, if this fails out of here, I'll be out of my long because I trail my stop to the most recent event. And or if this holds, moves higher, I'll add to it, and we'll hear everything happening. I don't have to be on the page, which is awesome for me. Anyway, all right, let's just. So we're just waiting to see what this confirms at. This is NASDAQ. I don't know based on my rules. Is this a long setup or a short setup? Right? If it touches these ATR, that's how I determine if it's a long setup or a short setup. Anyway, let me. I forgot to do this. Let me put this in the room here. So this is the document. Just quickly, we'll go over this again. I know I go over basics all the time on these webinars. So here's the drawing tool, right? You can go there. Why it's not supposed to be a link. Hold on, let me make that a link. There you go. So why is that invalid? That's not good. That's not good. Let's see. Hold on. There's the course. If you want the course, highly recommend it, especially if you're coming in the room, or if you want to know what I'm doing. This goes over everything that I do. It's almost 5 hours long, and it goes over everything: the settings, the drawing of the zones, the ATR, using ATR, entries, exit. It goes over everything that you need to know to implement those volume events. All right, so we go to indicators here. Let's see. Here it is right here. So I don't know why that wasn't working. Let's try this. Copy. Put that there. I'm very technical, very high tech. Let's add a link, see if this works. I'm surprised I even know how to do this stuff. Let's see. Hey, there you go. All right. So I'm going to put this in the room. So this is everything I use, this zone drawing tool. So if you get the basic, we're going to be beta testing the pro version, which you guys will be able to beta test. If you purchase this version, the basic, you'll be able to beta test the pro and then see if you like it. And you're going to love it because it's ridiculous. You'll hear it going off on this webinar. It's awesome. Anyway, if you get the basic, you'll be able to beta the pro once we get it. It should be out in the hopefully the next few days. They're doing something on Bookmap's end. Here's the course. Here's the what I was telling you guys. Some of you guys are subscribed to this. The zones were something was wrong with the. I couldn't load them the last couple days, but it should be okay now. I got most of them in today. Anyway, you can get the spreadsheet on your. You get both of these as members of my trade room. You get them for free if you want it. If you can't get in the trade room, you can subscribe to them here. You can get the spreadsheet. You can get the zones. You can get them combined, both of them, right? And then the zones are these inflection zones. So you can see here in my trade room. This is where I post them on my trade room. So they're free. If you come on my trade room, you get them I post them every day in here. Right? And these are these right here. So this is Mason. He's in the doghouse today because he's trailing his stop to break even and he missed the gold trade. I'm going to show you a whopper that happened in like seconds. We'll go over that here in a second, but you can see these are the charts I'm talking about, right? So that when I talk about ISI zones, inflection zones, that's these, right? So you get these either subscription or on my website, but these zones are very important. So this is just one of my trading strategies, ISI zones, inflection zone. So I look for volume events in these areas, volume events in important areas, and these zones are incredible in their own right. It's not rocket science. I draw them to the 4 important areas of charting: tops and bottoms balance areas, high volume nodes of balance areas, directional conviction, buying and selling tails. That's what they're drawn to. You could do them for yourself as well. I've been doing them for a long time, so they're very accurate and they're very good. But I still don't trade the areas until I get what? A real-time volume event. So those are the ISI zones.
ZM long retested.
So that's an example. I don't think we're going to trade ZM today, but we'll see. If nothing's going on, we might. Where am I at here? Okay. And then here's my website. Here's my email. Need to get hold of me. Here's my Twitter. Trade room if you want to join the trade room, and you get discounts to the courses and my mentoring and stuff if you're a member of the trade room, depending on what subscription package you have there. And then this is all the stuff I use. You don't have to have all of this stuff to be a member of my trade room or do what I'm doing. If you want to do what I'm doing, you do, but you don't. What you do have to have, if you don't even bother coming to the trade room, if you're not, you don't have Bookmap and the MBL bundle that shows you the stops and icebergs. And then you need the rhythmic data feed. I thought I had that on here. But this is key. You have to have this stuff if you want to do what I'm doing. And it's highly recommended because that's the driver of the markets as far as I'm concerned. The rest of this stuff, we'll go over Apex. Highly recommended. If you don't want to be risking your own money, especially as you're learning. Spot Gamma, we'll look at the Hero. I haven't looked at that today. Let's just get that. See what this looks like. Doesn't look real promising right now. Let's see Max 7 here. We'll go over this stuff too. I'm just going over the sheet and I'll post it like I always do. Tick Strike, actually I gotta get that going. So Tick Strike and Market Pulse help you judge areas. Market Pulse is Bookmap, it's Tick Strike on steroids. I use that extensively. We've been using it more and more and more. We'll go over that, but this is Tick Strike. These are just these little gauges that will tell you it goes from 1 to 15. So 15 is the highest, 1 is the lowest. I have it set at 11, so I don't even get alerted unless it touches at 11 strength. It's an algo that tells you the speed of the orders coming in and the size, and it does an audio for you and visual. So we'll see this. Obviously, nothing's happening anywhere, so it's not going off. Trader Sync, document your trades, very important as well. Ludwig levels, so I talk about, I call them lugs on the webinar, so I don't say Ludwig level 85 times on the webinar. Go in there, you can join the 3-day trial. You can get it for free. Once you go back, once you get them, you'll never go back. When you see how powerful they are, in my opinion, say you saw them Bookmap, you get special pricing, and then those are the reviews. There's one jackass in there too that is just a complete idiot that was ripping me because he has no idea what he's doing. Other than that, let me post this in here. Don't even get me on that rant. I'm already not a very good mood today. The guy's trying to cancel me because I didn't respond to his email like he wanted me to. I'm not going to get into that. All right, so that's that. Just posted in YouTube. Back to trading. So let's see what's going on here. NASDAQ just will not do anything. I mean, are the markets frozen? Like, crude's just sitting here doing nothing. Let's go over the gold trade from earlier while nothing's going on here. So this is the first trade that I took this morning. And I was actually hesitant in taking this. I didn't take this double size because my thesis was I thought gold was going to die once again, and it held once again, but this was what we just talked about. This was an inflection zone. So I looked for a volume event. So I knew the market was in this important zone that it keeps bouncing off of. I got my volume event, a double whammy, one of my distinct trading setups in an important area, and those are aggressive trades, meaning I get in the trade first, move out of there. We'll go over that, and I did, right? So there it was. This was a double whammy. So you had this was kind of a reverse double whammy. You had the buy ice come in, meaning the big money was buying down here. You can see it on that blue. And then the dumb money puke, the retail trader puke into the waiting hands. Again, it's usually the puke, then the ice, but same difference here. Usually stop runs are not initiated trades, right? They're usually retail trader puke, so it's not actual initiating selling. That's great information in its own right, especially important areas, right? You're like, well, the selling's not real. It's just guys puking. I can maybe fade this. This is called a Dumb and Dumber by itself, a stop run that rejects right away. In this case, this is called double whammy, where you get the dumb money puke into the waiting hands of the buy ice. This is an aggressive trade for me. Izzy trade. We have conservative Izzy's too, where I wait for the retest. This one I did not. I got long, and the thing ripped off the page, right? What it did do here, and this is where my veteran trade room member, I don't know how he screwed this trade up. I don't know what he's thinking or doing.
Nat gas ice iceberg sell NG 200 contract.
That's the guy that I showed in the doghouse on that other page, his dog cage. Anyway, this was the entry. I still don't know what he did here. Like he had like what 10 ticks of profit in his favor, and he said he moved. So his stop should have been down here, below, and you see that blue line below the ATR. It's actually the yellow line. You can't see it right there. That's where you need to place your stops so you don't get algoed. I don't know what the hell he was thinking here. So I guess he thought 10 ticks was a lot, and he moved his stop to break even, and he got stopped out, and then he missed a ridiculous rip. So again, guys, stop trailing your stops to break even. I've heard a couple educators, even the Bookmap, like these guys that trail their stops to break even. The market doesn't give a shit about what you want to do with your trades. It doesn't matter. So you're imposing your will on the market, right? Pardon my language. I swear sometimes when I get a little animated, right? Who cares? This area means nothing in the grand scheme of things. What does matter is this volume event and the volatility. So get your stop outside of the volume event if you don't want to get algoed. If you like getting algoed and you love getting stopped out and watching that, then keep doing it, because that's going to keep happening to you. So stop doing it, Mason. That's unbelievable that you've been in there that long and still doing it. Sorry, I'm giving you part of your verbal lashing now that's coming in the afternoon, because I'm not going to forget about that one. That's just, anyway, it cost himself. This is a 100 tick straight trade. So I did piece out some areas. So remember I showed you in the market, my document, the trading in the zone document where I get out. So as this was ripping up, let's find it here. I got out a half at yellow lug because that's just what I do. It kind of struggled here a little bit, and it was close to VWAP. I got
MG long validated.
Then I got
MG long retested.
Right, so there's something going. Oh, we got that's natural gas number coming out.
MG long entered.
And then I got out of some here, which was, I thought we were at, let me see here. There's something else here. So I don't get out of daily value area by itself, so daily value area is one standard deviation from VWAP if it's confluent with something, but there was something else up here. I think it was, I want to say it was here or here. Yeah, it was right here. So we were at the top of this market profile composite, so I got out of a couple more. So again, I'm just going to keep referring to this because I'm very consistent in what I do, where I get out of my trades. Not all of them, not all of the position. That was, the first one was the yellow lug, Ludwig level. The other one, market profile composite high. Those are areas that the market reacts to.
NQ stop sell NQ 186 contract.
Okay, so we'll go over those.
NQ short validated.
So you're hearing it right now. So it's validating the short off of this first event, and now we had a new event come in too. So there's a way now, what I can do here, but I really can't because I can't really take shorts up. Well, I take that back. Algo guy's pulling. It's not quite there, but there is a potential that I could put shorts on off of this last event if this market pulls down, yanks this blue below, because remember, this is my filter for bark and lick trades, right? So if this, we can pull this across, and that's the other thing too. If this thing crosses, then you got those algos that play the moving average cross, so you got those on your side too. So this is why I pay attention to this thing. So let's just see what happens here. There is a potential way if that thing does cross where I could go short off this original event and that's what you just heard, that validated, that's that blue line for that event. And now this event comes in, I can trail my stop to that event. So just say this is by itself, I would have done that, stops up here. Well, I can still do that and then move my stop based off of that event. Save myself some points if I stop out, right? Still don't know what I'm gonna do here. We'll watch to see how this reacts here. I'm gonna plug this new zone in as well. It's very hard for me to read with my color blindness. 17,835 down to 17,826. So you see it automatically drew this stop run that just came in. You've been on any of my webinars the last 7 years. You've had to watch me endure me drawing the zones by hand. Huge pain in the ass. So this is so much better with the zone drawing tool that you guys all have access to now. Hold on, I'm trying to. Here's the old technology. I love when Microsoft does that, by the way. 17,835 is your. Actually, I'm going to open up a new one. So I'll go to my website for this one. Let's see. Let's open up this.
NQ stock by NQ 152 contracts.
So now we're flipping back.
Prior NQ short retested.
All right, so you're buy stops. So it's just a clown show in here right now. Sell stops, buy stops, retail traders just getting whipsawed to death. That's what's happening right here. But I just keep following my rules here, right? So I don't think Algo Guy's pulled yet. Like I said, I could have potentially shorted that. We got 2 new events. I'll plug this one in. And we'll see what's going on. This is not pulled to the downside yet. So you see how it tried and it didn't. So I can't take any shorts
Prior
yet.
NQ long validated.
So now what it's doing, it's validating this as a long, right? And then it'll validate if it moves in the air. So right now, I will turn around and I will take longs. Remember, I'm always defaulting to the most recent
short entered.
events. And guys, it'll get annoying if it gets busy. You're going to be hearing all these different markets. I'm watching 20 different markets, right? So apologies, but I'm not going to turn them off because I want to be alerted to what's going on. Anyway, these are the most recent events. I was ready to short that, right? Now we have new event. This one is already proven to be a bullish event. So that idea is done. This is bullish. So I could take a long off of this and or this, right? So we'll just watch out what happens here. Algo Guy's bullish. So I'm going to go long. And obviously these markets are ridiculously bullish. If I go long here, I'm going to trade double size. It's not quite out of this balance yet, but everything else, this is just going to keep going up like it does every day. So I will trade double size to the long side. If it retests, so what I'm going to do here, and you'll hear it, this retests this event, moves back out, I'm going to take bark and potentially lick longs, see if there's any liquidity.
Copper stock sell HG 269 contracts.
There's liquidity up here. This is good enough. This has been in here for a while. They pulled a little bit of it, but that's been there. So I'll take bark and actually that's not too far away though. Let's see. But I'd be trading off of this one. Yeah, I can put that on. So we'll just wait to hear what happens here. Let me plug this one in, and I'll plug this new one in too, and then I'll show you guys. It may be confusing because they're on top of each other, but so let's put the first one in here. That was 35 down to 26. 17,835. 17,826. ATR right now is 16.72. You're going to see all this on the chart as well. Put in your account size, what you're willing to risk per trade. I'm risking 10% on these accounts. I would not be risking 10% on your trading account. 2 to 3% is plenty. If you risk 10%, you have a bad day, you're going to blow your account. All right, so I go over that area. I'm not going to get into that right now. All right, so that's second to last zone that just happened, and then we'll plug in the most recent zone right here, and then I'll show you.
Nat gas iceberg by NG 152 contracts.
It's so ridiculous. 17,846 quarter. $17,837. ATR again is set. Now it's up to 17.15. So now we're just going to hear, it's going to tell us what's going on, right? The drawing tool will tell me what's happening, but I'm going to go over it as well. This is 17.15. All right, so now we wait and see what's going on. There's nothing aggressive for me to get in long here aggressively per se. So either one of these events, I'm going to wait for the ATR, which you're going to hear. That's that blue line, a retest, confirm. This is already confirmed this as a bullish setup. You heard it, right? It touched that ATR. Now if this retests that zone, comes back, I'm going to take bark and lick longs. And that was this you just heard. Prior NQ long validated. That's this one. So that validated. So now I'm waiting for, so say it doesn't come back to this one, then I can potentially take longs off that one instead. If that good validates the blue line, retest, confirm, I'll put on longs off of that as well. And or I can add to this trade depending on what I do here. So let's just wait and see what happens. So guys, I have my rules here, right? Like, if you're watching this and you don't know what's going on, you're like, wait, buy stop, sell stop. I don't know what to do. We have distinct rules. I have distinct rules on how I trade these. And if I get them, I put the trade on. And then that's just playing out my edge. This is the best edge you are ever going to see in futures trading, in my opinion, knowing these areas and knowing how they should react and how they do react. These are just concentrated areas where traders are loaded up with contracts. So that's what we're playing off of, right? If you guys got questions, throw them in YouTube. I haven't really done anything yet, but any questions, throw them in there. Andy said, when will that version be available? Pro version, it should be available. I'm just waiting for Bookmap to prove something, hopefully in the next few days. There's still some bugs in it. The other thing, too, and I don't know how to use this yet. I'm waiting for you on it. That's my developer, and he's in the trade room, too. This, it's a position sizing, so you can, this is what you just saw on the spreadsheet, but I don't know how to, I don't know what to do with this yet, so. But that as another, he's really high on it. He's been talking about it. I just don't know how to use it, right? And that's in here. If you look at the, here, Scott Zones. So you plug that in up here, but I don't know where you put in the, I don't know why it's not working. So I don't know what, I'm obviously not doing something right. So.
Stop by CL, 183 contracts.
All right, still long
CL
crude.
long validated.
I'm still long crude, and now this event just validated. You heard it. And now you got another event. So what I can do, remember I was long from this event, we already went over this. Stop was here, then I moved it to here. Now I can move it to there. So I plug that in. I don't even, you know, when you have this, all you gotta do is hover over the line. It's gonna tell you where you can stop out. But let's plug it in, because it's all based on the spreadsheet, right? 67 to 57, so plug that in this spreadsheet. And then you'll hear when NASDAQ confirms either way, and then we'll hop over there. 75.67, 75.57. ATR is 0.163. Struggling. There we go. All right, so now my stop is at 38. Right? That should be pretty close to that. There it is. So this is showing 40, so this ATR is probably better. I still need to figure out, because you go on built up by scratch, my developer, actually it came down to 38 right there, so that's the same price, right? So I will stop out now. Remember, stop was down here, then I moved it to that event right there, and then now I'm going to move it to this event. So if that comes, and it's just below this prior event, I don't stop out in prior events the best I can. That's good enough.
NG long validated.
So if this comes back to 38, I'm out. Otherwise, I'm going to potentially add to these longs if my parameters are hit. What I want to do here, so let me trail this stop. That's at 38 now. Bark and lick, I had on. We already went over this earlier. Bark and lick, those are trailed up to 38. Now it's going to tell me, so this one actually already validated as long, right? Because it got the ATR above there. That's that blue line. You see that there. You should already have the blue line on here on the basic version. You should already know have the ATR blue line, but that confirmed that. So if we get a retest of that, I can go long off of that one, and I can do the same thing there, add to the trade. So we'll just wait and see. It's already confirmed, but I still need to retest and then move and then confirm. We'll go over it as it happens. All right, what is this? Did this just fire off? No.
HG.
Shut him up somehow. Alright, did he say this was, I just X'd out of it, hold on. I forgot if they said this was, no, didn't validate. Never did it. Yeah, no, it did. It already read this, right? So So this event is bullish. If this retest confirms off of this red event, this sell stop run, I'm going to take longs off of that. Right? This hasn't confirmed as long yet. So what happens now if this market confirms that as a short? Well, I can't go long off that because it's the most recent event, right? So it's
Prior NQ long retested.
So there you go, right? So now it's retested. See how cool that is? Like, you don't have to be on the screen. You're like, oh wait, that prior event retested. All right, I'm ready to go long here. All right, so now these are my parameters to take this trade, the bark and the lick. So we already know that just retested that zone. Forgot which one I put it on here. Was it this one? Yeah, 35 to 26. Okay. Make sure your ATR is correct here. You see it on the tool too, but again, you guys don't have the tool yet. So 1735 is your ATR. So now if this comes back out, I'm going long. 855, I can put on 5. I'm going to trade double size because this market is bullish. I just want to see something here. Just make sure it's still in that balance, that smaller balance area. So I mean, I don't love it. I just want to make sure. I mean, it's obviously bullish, but yeah, see, I don't know if I want to. I'll still put on the long here, but Hero is kind of diving the other way. This is the options flow in the SPX. Mag 7's kind of holding. Actually, this is kind of mixed signals here. So I'm going to go long, but I'm not going to go long double size here. If we start moving out and break out of this balance, then I'm going to trade double size to the long side. But right now, see, we're kind of stuck right in the middle of this thing. And then Hero's obviously going the other way for the S&P 500. Obviously, that's not it's not NASDAQ, but a lot of the stocks in the NASDAQ are obviously in the S&P. So you can see NASDAQ's going the other way too here. So you got some conflicting signals here, right? So this is not, I won't take trades just because this is going the other way, but I'm not going to trade double size, right? So let's just put this in. And you know, if this doesn't work, this is just information for you guys. Hey, I might want to get this Hero and not take opposing trades. If this thing's nosediving, I probably don't want to go long. That's not part of my trade plan. You don't see those in my trade plans as of right now, so I'm going to take this long if it moves back out of here. That price is 55. I'm going to put on 5. It's almost there, so I better hurry up. This is the bark and the wick. Pretty close to entering. That's the wick. And that's the bark. Alright, so those are working. So I will go long. If this moves to 55, what am I doing? ATR, retest, confirm. Why is this showing? Hold on here. That's for this event. It's not showing me the lines for this event. Alright, I'm filled. Alright, so I got long off of this event.
Prior NQ long entered.
There you go. So that's where it was off a couple, like a point or whatever, a couple ticks. I mean, because this is updating automatically, this ATR. So anyway, I'm long. I'm long off of this event. Now what will happen if it does that? I can add to that trade based on this event, right? So worst case scenario is right now, I was going to have my stop and ATR below there. I can have it based off of the most recent event. So that event is already in the spreadsheet too. So I'm just show you what I'm talking about here. So if I were trading off that first zone, my stop would be, I earned at 55. It's all on the spreadsheet. Stops at 806. Well, there was a new event I can trail my stop to. That was higher. That's this one. I'm going to trail my stop. So instead of 806, 817 quarter. Right? So that's just, potentially save myself 11 points if this thing nosedives. Right? So that's how I do it. Now there's a way, if I do put on this trade, I'll put on barks and licks off of this event, and it's still going to be 817 quarter because it's the most recent event. Let me put that in. And as far as the Hero, let me put these in real quick before there's a couple different ways you can look at it, right? Like, yeah, Hero's diving the other way. Well, it's diving this way in NASDAQ. So the reason this is going on here, right? NASDAQ, the overall market, the options flow. These dealers get loaded up. They have to hedge themselves. That's what this is showing, right? Well, why is NASDAQ going up? Well, the highest weighted stocks in the NASDAQ are the Mag 7. Do you see what Mag 7's doing? So you have some conflicting information. What this is telling me, though, like this couldn't hold it down. The SPX part of those stocks are in here too. That couldn't hold it down. What's going to happen if this turns back up? It's going to rip off the page, right? So that's another way you can view this, where you're like, okay, you know, again, I'm not using this as a filter as of right now, but I'm just keeping an eye on it. So this is interesting. You know, what's probably going to happen here is because you're getting
short retested.
you're getting conflicting info. The overall NASDAQ is nosediving, Mag 7's going up, so you're probably going to get that type of trade, right? But I that's fine. Whatever's happening here is happening here, because this moves.
Iceberg sells EV 500 contracts.
This is moving dynamically up and down too. This is just one of the entities in the market that have to hedge with their futures, has your positions with futures, right? So this can turn around. So you can't really. There's instances where you watch this, but this can move just like a market, right? So I'm following my rules for my volume events, and that's telling me long. I'm long, right? So I keep an eye on this. There are, hopefully, we'll come up with some examples of where you can use this to your favor or help you enhance your trading. It's very important information, but these are not the only players in town, right? Some days they are. The options dealers have to do their business, and they affect the futures. Other days they're playing in here. There's other entities in here firing off orders, and they don't have that big of an effect on the market. Some days they're everything, some days they're not. So it's something you definitely want to watch.
Long retested.
What? Hold on, what's going on here?
NQ long validated.
All right. So what does that tell me? So this setup is long now too. So now if that does that, I'm going to add to the trade. I'm already long that one, and now I'll go along that one. If it just rips off the page and doesn't retest this, I'm already long. I'm fine with it, right? So it'll tell us. And you can see here, they're still buying these Mag 7 stocks. Tesla. Yeah, well, actually just Tesla right now. You'll see these things light up though. All right, so let's look at some of the areas I will possibly piece out of this trade as it moves in my favor. All right, and we already showed this on the Trading in the Zone doc.
Prior ZL long retested. ZL long retested.
I'm not going to trade bean oil right now, but guys, the money's just as green in ZL and ZS and everything else. If you have the setups, you know what you're doing.
Prior GC long entered. CP long validated.
So you can hear, you know, the one bad thing about the pro version of the drawing tool, you definitely get FOMO.
NQ stock by NQ. 166 contracts.
Because you feel like you're missing all these trades, right? But I'm okay with that. I'd rather know what's going on. All right, so this is good for me to trail my stops. So Mason, hey Mason, you paying attention here? So I'm going to trail my stop based on something that happened in the market, not because I want to break even on my trade, right? That's how you do it. I know you're new and everything, so maybe you'll get it in the next couple months. 876.50 to 874.75. So this is what I'm going to do. Plug that in now. Mason is the guy in my trading room that cost himself a huge trade today because he was honking his nose. 17.876, and he knows better. I don't do this to every trader, guys.
259 contracts.
If you're new, I'm not going to give you verbal lashings, but you've been there for a year, you're going to get a verbal lashing. I'm sorry. That's just ridiculous. I can even show you the conversation from today. It's just very upsetting that he's still doing that stuff.
CL short validated.
I think I just stopped out of CL, but that's fine. It was still a profitable trade. We'll go over there in a second. All right, so based on this new event, now I'm going to trail my stop to this new event. What's that price? Now it's 53.50. I just went from 17. Am I trailing it? Then that's basically where I got in, right? Am I trailing my stop so I can break even? No, it just happens to be break even off of the new event, right? Right, Mason? Got that? All right, let's trail the stop here. It was at 17 quarter, or 17 quarter, 17, whatever. Now I'm going to move it up to 53.50, or what did I say? 55.50. Hold on. You guys just see this is all systematic, right? It's not me just like by the seat of my pants throwing in orders like by feel. Oh, I'm going to stop out. I'm going to move this to break even. I feel
long retested.
It's all in the spreadsheet. I'm very systematic.
CM long entered.
Goodness gracious, it's a little crazy. 53.50. What is going on? What am I stepping out of? Hold on. 87, 73. All right, so those are trailed to 53.50. Okay, what is going on? What am I filling on? Hold on here. It's not gold. I'm still short.
Long retested.
Gold. I haven't got stopped out of there. It has to have been. I probably left orders in the order book in the screw trade is what probably just happened there. Let's see. I'm willing to bet on it. That's exactly what happened. Hold on, let me get out of these things. This is the problem when I'm on these webinars. I just forget to need orders. No, I just stopped out. All right, that's fine. But why was it not showing me with the crude? What is going on here? What just happened there? It just got me out of my NASDAQ longs, and I have no idea why. All right, I guess I'll put those back on. I'm sure I cost myself money there. Hold on, guys. This is my day every day, by the way. But why did that just? I wasn't even touching anything. Why did that get me out of that trade? Hold on.
NG long retested.
I have no idea what that was. There's something went down with Rhythmic because I was not touching anything. It got me out of my. I stopped out at crude, which is fine, right? So what did I do there? Remember, I was long from down here. And this is how I do it, guys. If these volume events are showing me that the market can't continue, you have your rules. You're out. So I was long, trailed my stop to that, got that, trailed my stop to that. I just stopped out, right? So that trade's done. This is actually a bearish setup. I could potentially be putting on an Izzy here to the short side. I'll show you the rest of the gold trade where I flipped as well. This looks like the same thing though. So this is an Izzy trade short. I should already be shorter. I just didn't catch this earlier. Why? This is a straight move into this inflection zone. Volume event, bearish. So I should be short. I should have been out of my Barkin Izzy longs and short. I should be short right here. So I'm going to put that on right now. Hold on, and we'll go over it. I'm just going to guess on the size. I'm assuming it's about 10. Hold on here. 8. I still want to know what the hell happened at NASDAQ. That was really weird. All right, so I'm short crude. So that's the zone. I think we put the zone. We had to put the zone in because I stopped out of my longs. But is he short here? Is entry is at 38. So basically where I just got in. Just to make sure this is right. This is right. So I should have 11 on. So I got 10 on. That's good enough, right? So you guys see what I did there. I was long Barks and Licks trading strategy. This one and this one. Moved up there. This stop run happened, turned into a bearish event, so I stopped out of my bark and lick, and I put in an Izzy because I got in a volume event in an important area. And let's just see, this might have been a pick trade too. Profiles encouraged.
CS long entered.
Not really. So the thesis for this is, this market is truly bullish right now. This needs to not get back out of this one, and especially not get back in this one. If you do, this is probably going to cover the other side. That's just what happens with when these markets accept in. And it's telling you something. One, it tried to get in here, couldn't hold. And then if it gets out of this, that's telling you something. And if it gets back in this, that's probably going to do one of these. And I would expect something like that. We'll see. Just a thesis. I still put on my trades. I'm short right now. But this is telling me something's up right now on the long side. This is why, hold on, what did I just do there? Okay. This is why, if you're just looking at structure, the bar charts, even market profile, you're like, what do I do here? I don't know. Is this long? Is this short? It's kind of bouncing in between these two profiles. Guys, just use what's happening real time in the market. That will help clear everything up, especially if you have rules for it. I have distinct rules, distinct trading strategies. I take the trades. I put the probabilities of the best edge I've ever seen in the history of trading in my favor, and I follow my rules. I don't know if I've mentioned this document right here. Learn to trade an edge like a casino. We already know, I know that's an edge. If you want to listen to me and my 25 years trading experience and trading millions and millions and millions and millions of contracts, you might want to listen to me. This is the best edge I've ever
Prior
seen.
HT long
So
validated.
you don't have to worry if you have an edge or not. That's where most traders fail just to start with. They don't know. They see something work a couple times, they think it's an edge. Then they start trading it and they get crushed and they move away from it. This is the edge, in my opinion, right? So you don't have to worry about the edge. What you have to worry about is following the rules and making stupid mistakes, right, Mason? Right? So it generally puts the odds of success in your favor. We already know that. If you can think about trading in the appropriate manner, the 5 fundamental truths. That's this. Anything can happen. You don't need to know, or do you know what's going to happen next? I've added that. This is straight out of Trading the Zone, all this. I added this part, though. Or do you know what's going to happen next in order to make money? right? So all you that are afraid to put on trades because you think something's going to happen, if you really think about it in the right way, it's ridiculous, right? So say you're like, oh, I want to go short crude here. Yeah, that's the Izzy. I like trading Izzies, but I don't know, man. This doesn't feel right. It feels like crude's going to go this way. Okay, if you know what's going to happen, then you should be putting your house, everything you own, on the long, right? If you're skipping the short trade here, that means you think you know what's going to happen. Put on the long with everything you own. Why won't you do that? Because you don't know what's going to happen. You know you don't know what's going to happen, but you still make that mistake of not putting on trades because you're afraid, because you think something's going to happen, right? So you can talk yourself off that ridiculous ledge by saying, well, I don't know if this is going to break. All my rules are in place. I got to put the trade on, because if I did know, I would bet my house and my life on the long. Get it? So just if you go through that mental process when
HG disqualified.
you're making silly mistakes, it'll talk you off the ledge, right? So let's just cover the rest of these like I do every webinar. There is a random distribution between wins and losses for any given set of variables that define an edge. So are these 100% what we're doing in here with the rules? No, nothing in trading is 100%. These are markets. Is it an incredible edge? It's the best edge I've ever seen. I don't know if I mentioned that, right? So you just keep putting them on if your rules are hit. That's it. Just like a casino keeps dealing blackjack or rolling the dice or letting the slot machine wheels roll, even though there's winners, meaning losers for them, they just keep letting it run because they know the odds are in their favor, aka edge, right? Guys, until you can internalize this stuff, you're never going to make it trading. Ever, 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 ever. You're going to keep making stupid mistakes, right, Mason? He's getting it bad today. I probably won't give him the afternoon verbal lashing. I'm kind of laying into him now. He may not be on here, though, so I'm going to make sure he was on. If not, I'm going to give him a verbal lashing in the afternoon PM webinar. There's random distribution between wins and losses. And that is nothing more than an indication of a higher probability. Does that say... That's a great action today. Does that say 100%? No, that says a higher probability. And every moment in the market is unique. So no matter how great your pattern looks, it's unique. You just keep putting the trade on if you have the edge. So remember, I'm short this now. What is one of the areas I may get out? I'm definitely going to watch this area where this prior event, where I went long earlier before I flipped it the other way. If it struggles in here, I'm going to get out of some. That'd be a nice 50-tick trade. Not all of them, some of them, because that's one of my areas that I get out at. Very ranty today, right here. Same day, prior event. I'm very consistent in where I exit some of these trades. All my trades, basically. And then... So this is, this is 25 ticks in my favor, 28 ticks in my favor. I could possibly get out of some here. You got baby lug confluent with daily value area, and that's also the top here. And I am bullish this market. So if if your thesis is bullish, so you see how I'm short even though I'm bullish overall because I'm a day trader. But this is an area where I'll get out of a couple because I know the general market. I'll get out of 3. I got 10 on. I'm going to get out of 3 here. It's only 25 ticks profit. Hold on. 87. No. What's the other one I got in? Hold on. I thought I had 2 of these on. Oh no, that was just dizzy. So I got out of 3. I got out of 3 there, and you see it's bouncing. That's an area that I get out at. Daily value area. That's a deviation of VWAP and a lug, baby lug, and market profile composite high over here. That's enough for me to get out of a third of my trade, and I did that. Right? If it keeps ripping down, great. I still have 7 on. Right? All right. I see some of your questions. I got to take a break. A lot of ranting today. Mason got me going this morning, and I haven't stopped. Big Ice and NG, totally missed that. We'll go over there in a second. I'm sure I missed a trade in there. What software draws zone automatically like Stops and Icebergs? You guys, could someone help? Right, Narav, please. That's all I've been talking about, guys. Look, scroll up, Narav. I don't know how to pronounce your name. I put this document in the room, in the chat. It's all right here. Where is it? Right here. This is Scott Zone's drawing tool. Go to the marketplace. That's that. Why does this happen half the time? No such product. There it is. One time it works, another time it does. So if it gives you the error, just keep hitting it. Here it is. This draws the zones on the chart automatically for you. So you don't have to draw. Yes, it is a huge pain in the ass drawing. And then the pro version is showing you, so all these dotted lines, that's the other, we haven't even talked about this today because I don't usually cover these. I don't take these trades in webinars because they're just too, manually, what's the word I'm looking for? They're intense. You got to be all over them, right? But anyway, that's what these are, because we have reversion trades, because there is a ridiculous tendency of these markets to revisit the zone. So we take advantage of those trades based on, this is the 1 ATR reversion. Here's the stop. There's a 2 ATR reversion. Here's a stop. Here's the 3. Where's the 3? I can't see the 3 here. Hold on, I think that's right. It says it on here too, or it should, right? That's the 1, that's the 2 ATR. Here's a 3 ATR. This is the 2 ATR stop loss. You see the SL. This is a 3 ATR stop loss. So you can visually see what's in this spreadsheet. And it doesn't tell you for those, it doesn't announce them, but that's what these are. 1, 2, 3. Right. I'm not going to really get into that on these webinars. Come on my trade room, you can learn all about it. I talk about them all the time. I don't take them all the time, but I talk about them on the webinars. I try to take them on my own, but they're very, you got to be on top of this stuff. All right, so short crude. Still along this. I forget what I did here. Did I get out of some up here? What did I do here? No, I didn't get out of any. Let's see where this is. I think I was coming over here to look at some areas I could piece out of that trade. And there you go. And it was baby lug. Not really. I don't usually get out of baby lug. These are these smaller. These lugs are the most powerful, right? The big, she calls them big red, big blue. These are baby lugs. This was extreme standard deviation. I could have got out of some there, but the market's so bullish, you know, that's fine. I'm long. I'm basically holding it to red lug, or because there's nothing else up here, right? These are all-time highs, so I'm either holding it to red lug or an opposing volume event. And this is the exact. Here we go. This was the reversion trade for this event, and I was able to trail to this, my stop to this too, right? Is that correct? Yeah. Yeah. So I went over this already, as far as what I did here, right? You got the event. You got the ATR, you got the retest. I got in at 52 or whatever that was. Then I trail my stop to something that just happened in the market. Right? So now, it hasn't happened yet. It actually didn't even get to the 1 ATR there.
ZL short validated.
But there's a
ZL
way.
Short validated.
That's ZL, not CL. That's reading. Anyway, there's a way I can put on more if that happens. It just has not got to that. To qualify this as a long setup hasn't happened yet. So if that happens, I'll put on more longs. I'll add to that trade. In the meantime, I trailed my stop for this. It's basically going to be break even. I'm trading it not to break even. I'm trading because of what I want to happen. I'm trailing it because of break even, because of something happened in the market. All right. Let's see, any other questions? Is Mason real or imaginary? I don't know. You tell me. Let's see. Let's see if he's real or imaginary. I think he's hoping, wishing it was imaginary right now. Here we go. Let's go over the verbal lashing I gave him. Right? Here we go. Let's go over it. Guys, I do this especially for veteran members, right? It's not to embarrass him, but it is, right? Because if he's embarrassed, he's going to remember this mistake, right? Like, I'm calling him out. It's half kidding, half serious. It's more serious, especially if he's been in here for a long time, and he has, right? So let's just watch what he said here. Ready? Let's see. Where are you at, Mason? So here's your verbal lashing. I won't do it here. I don't know what he was doing there. It looked like he was in the trade. And then he goes, so Madam Shizzle caught it. It's ripping. I caught it. It's ripping. Let's see. And then he goes, man, I messed up that GC long. That was an easy one, too. I gave him thumbs down. And then I said, messed up how? How did you mess up the trade? It was, you got, that was this one. Just to recap, I'm sure he's going to love recapping it. Right here, volume event, right there, double whammy, in this zone. Just a layup trade, all the way down here. Layup, right? I already showed what he did. So then I said, you obviously didn't put the trade on, why? And he said, had the long on. When price hit 39, move the stop up to break even. And that's why I lost it. Like, what? This guy is not new in here. And stopped out, and then it ripped. Wow, is that maybe because algos are built to come back, whipsaw people out of their trades, and then go, and then they get the fill? So when you stop out, they get the fill, and then it goes. Like what this is. Anyway, this is why I trail my stops. Or I put my stops below volume events. Not uncommon for me with the position trades. Well, that's just why I gave him an F. Here you go. You guys have heard it on these webinars. That's all I talk about is the biggest mistake traders make. All I ever talk about is the ridiculous mistake of traders moving their stop to break even. There's even Bookmap educators that are doing this, and I'm telling you, I'm not going to besmirch people working for Bookmap or doing these webinars, but if they're telling you to break even, then they're just not that great of a trader, in my opinion. It's my opinion. They may be the best trader ever, but good luck. Good luck doing that over the long run. Market doesn't care where you want to break even. What does the market care about, guys? I don't know if I've mentioned it. Oh, it cares about volume events and volatility. So you don't get in the trade. I've already showed this. We'll go over it again. Double whammy. You don't get into it and you get a little profit and say, oh man, I don't want to get back that profit. I want to move it break even, because you'll get stopped out and then you'll get that. I put my stop below the volume event. And it's all on this thing too. It's all on the drawing tool. The new one. You don't have it yet. And then I said the market doesn't care. We're going to break even. And then so he was a teacher's pet the other day, because I came up with this I said this line, "You're my world now, Grandma," from Happy Gilmore, and he got it. So he was teacher's pet. So he went from teacher's pet to dunce. See, I even said you can't butter me up now by posting. He was trying to get back in my good side. Yes, you need a warm glass to shut the hell up right there. So anyway, that was Mason. He's not imaginary. He's very real, and he's being a complete clown today. So he deserved it. All right. Should have made some popcorn for this. Yes. So guys, this is, listen, my trade room is not for the faint of heart. Like if you come in there and you want me to like pat you on the back, hey, great trade, and then when you make a mistake or post a ridiculous mistake or post something that's wrong, if you think I'm just going to be like, oh yeah, man, maybe next time. If you want the participation award, my room is not for you. If you want me to point out, so would you rather be embarrassed and become a better trader, or do you want me to pat you on the back and let you keep making the same mistakes and you never become the trader you want to be, right? So that's what you got to decide. It's not for everybody, right? I'm going to call you out if you make ridiculous mistakes, especially if you've been in there for as long as he has, right? So there you go. That was my rant. I've been ranting this entire webinar on that, but it's very good for you guys to hear, because I guarantee you more than half of you are doing the same thing, trailing your stops to break even. Why? Yeah, so you can break even, great, but that doesn't, what? Trail your stops is something that's happened in the market, please, I beg you. All right, let's see what else is going on here. I feel like I've been on this webinar for 4 hours and it's been on for 40 minutes. All right. So I'm short crude, Izzy. We already went over that. I was long flipped. Oh, let's just go to the rest of this gold trade, because I'm still short gold. So I caught that Izzy from down there. We just talked about that. And then what did I do? So the market was ripping. And it came up here, and I got it. There's an Izzy. Actually, I didn't have this drawn credit. I had to change it, so I didn't catch it originally, but I was able to put it on. I put it in my room. I updated it because this zone was more important. I had it more up here, so the Izzy actually didn't happen. But then once I adjusted it, there was an Izzy up here. So what's this? This is where this gap down from today. And this is where this little directional conviction started with the buying tail. So that's why I changed the zone. And my room had I updated it, and they had plenty of time to get back in this trade, because I did get in it after I redrew it and posted it. So anyway, what do we have? We had a volume event in an important area. That's a trading strategy. My Izzy trading strategy. That's this. So I got in aggressively. I got in up here. It did struggle in this event, and not surprising, right? But I got in up here, and it's bouncing around. So my stop's above this event. So I did have a little bit in my favor. Did I trail my stop to break even? No, I trail my stop. My stop is not trailed. It's above this volume event. If this moves lower and I get another event, then I'll trail my stop based on the new event. But this is not surprising. It's bouncing off this prior area. Why? Guys, because just use common sense, because when this stop run fired off, there were sellers in here that just got their heads ripped off, that are holding their breath as it comes back. They're like, oh, let me out, please. Let me out. Okay, thanks. Right? That's what's happening. So if you know that, you're not surprised it bounced off there. That's why I try not to enter my trades in prior events either. This one was enough above it that I took it. But I could have definitely, if I wanted to, put my entry down below here. If I wanted to risk an extra 30 ticks, get it below that. So you're not stopping out, or you're not entering trades in prior events, because you have to go through this many times. So that's that trade. So I'm still short that. Still short crude. And I'm long NASDAQ. It still has not confirmed this as bullish, but I trail my stop to this. There has not been a single thing in ES or Russell today. Very strange. This call wall is very important. This is SPX call wall. He talks about it in his daily briefing here. This is spot gamma. You get discounts to this too, guys. Use the code Scott. Where's that here? Sorry, I got all these bookmap things up here. That's this. Where use, and you can actually get this hero for free, right? So get the best subscription and then try it out for free. That's, you go over here. Actually, it's not showing me. You gotta go to the spot gamma site. But so what I'm saying about the best subscription, I mean the top one, because you can get any one you want, but why not try the best one to get you everything if you're getting it for free, right? Let's see this. You guys get the gist, right? It's not just go there. I'll try one more time here, but I don't think it'll work because I'm logged in. That's the problem. Right. So go here, pricing. Just pick the alpha for the deal for the 2-week trial. And sign me up, and then when you get to the pay screen, put in Scott all caps, and you can try the hero out for free. If it doesn't work, let me know, because someone was trying it one day and it didn't work or something, maybe. But if you can't find the coupon code thing, let me know, and then I'll figure out what's going on with that. But anyway, you get his notes here. So what I just was getting at here is he says the S&P call walls have held at SPX 5000, which remains the top of our trading range and heavy resistance. We're right there. So that's just showing there's just a bunch of option activity there that serves as resistance. So if this market, say I did get a volume event, I would watch this area very closely to fail and to get out, right? But nothing's happening here yet. So anyway, with the hero or with the spot gamma, you get that and you get the hero. And we were looking at the hero a little bit ago. And this is a great example on how when we got long this NASDAQ, we were talking about how these markets were going lower, this and this. And I said, well, the market's not really reacting. It's going higher because Mag 7 is going higher. So what's going to happen when these things actually start to flip the other way, which kind of happened a little bit, and then even a bigger move higher, right? So I'm not trading off this per se. I do use this for reversion trades to help me, but I'm not going to get into that right now. Keep an eye on this. This is important order flow information because these options dealers have to hedge with futures. Right? All right, so again, I'm long here. I was able to trail my stop. So if this does free fall from here, I'm going to stop out at break even because I trailed my stop to this most recent event. Nerv says, hello Scott, can you explain how algos works on all markets? Who runs algos and how do institutions trade? Well, you just answered your own question. They're institutions there's algos for a ton of things, right? The most prevalent algos are, the main ones are like the algo guy. That's why we call it algo guy, right? So the exponential moving average algos, right? So some of the ways these things jump in is if this crosses, they jump in when it crosses, right? If it gets too extended, they'll snap it back to the shorter term or the longer term. So those are moving average algos. The most prevalent algos that I think there's probably millions of algos in here, but the ones that are all like aligned, a lot of them that really move, are these extreme standard deviation of VWAP algos, right? So here's VWAP. This is one standard deviation called daily value area. This is 1.5. This is 2. This is 2.5. I don't have 2.5, 3, 3.5 drawn. It rarely gets there, but you can see this got up to 2.5, right? At baby lug 2, and this did react. So you have those algos, so when nothing's going on, this is why you guys get whipsawed. The other thing we haven't talked about today, which is probably just going crazy right now, ape shit, as my grandpa used to say, is the price change algo on Market Pulse. This thing is pretty damn incredible. I've posted the video, or Bruce's, here, let me just do this real quick again, because there's something you want to watch. I posted my own video on it. Let's just find it here. It was a while ago, so bear with me. But it's important for you guys to watch because that Market Pulse is incredible. You can get some really good information from that too. And I'll show you some price change. I posted it over the weekend. Hold on. Somebody was asking in my room for it. Let me see here. February 6th. It's way back here. Hold on. Oh, there's Dog Cage. Someone was in the doghouse. Oh, Madam Shizzle was in the doghouse that day. It's pretty funny. Guys, you gotta laugh too. Like, that's part of it too, is like to be making an example of you, but it is funny. Hold on. I'll find it one of these times. Here it is. So this is mine. Watch Bruce's first, right? So this is, actually, I think that was with me. He did another one. That's how I even learned about it. But this one's with me, and then I did my own, showing you these tendencies. So this is price change. Hold on. Put these in here now. You can watch them. They're on my YouTube channel. So these are just some of these algos. Then we're going to look at the price change here in a second. Copy link. So watch those. And we'll go over what I'm going to show you right now. So, 80-90% of the time it's just algos whipsaw in the market like you're seeing here. Let's look at the price change. So this is one of the main algos in here. Every time this thing spikes, it rips the other way. And this has nothing to do with traded volume. It's actually the move, like the move. Again, watch those webinars. So this one kept price changing. So it works until it doesn't work, right? Because when big money comes in here, you can get the price change algo and it just keeps going because the big money's laying into the market. When it slows down, then you start seeing that. Well, what's that? A lot of these algos are these price change algos. So you can see when it spikes up, comes back, comes down, comes back. There's another one here. Now it's really, especially at this time of day, you get past 10 o'clock, between 10 and noon. That's when you'd be very wise just not be trading it. I've lost millions of dollars in this time period. But anyway, you see that? There. You see that? There. And then they start playing games with you. How you can use this in your trading, this is pretty advanced stuff, but you can use this to help you. So say I'm looking to go along this setup and I got this, right? Especially this time of day. I'll still put the trade on, but you can be watching this and you see price change algo spiking. That's the green. And this is, guys, this is all default for this one, right? So you go over here. I'll show you what I was going to show you. It's market pulse. Where's that? Right here. Right? So you just literally, it's default. Price change. Bring it up, open it up. It's 5 minutes, 70%. So this is telling me this is the biggest price change in the last 5 minutes. You wouldn't think that was huge information. I didn't even pay attention to it until Bruce showed it on one of his webinars. I'm like, holy crap, man, when the market's dead, these price change algos are running the show. How could you use that in your position trading? Because say my entry, say this did this, and my entry's sitting up here and it's moving up and it makes a huge price change. We already know these algos are probably going to snap it back most of the time. I can wait for that price change to happen, wait for the pullback and get in at a better price, that type of thing, right? You have to be careful though, because like down here, the price change kept happening. So if the big money comes in right behind there, this thing, you may miss your fill. So you got to decide, hey, is the big money playing? The way you can decide that is look at relative volume. Like if relative volume is like spiking, or tick strike, right? So say you're getting up to that, you're getting up to the entry, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna wait for price change to fire off. I'm not gonna get in here. But you see all these stocks ripping. Well, I wouldn't be. That's big money. You got the big money behind that move. Don't be messing around with price change, right? The other thing you can look at is the relative volume. So you can see here, you see how relative volume's dying down. This is just showing me for the last 30 days, I had it set for 30 days, this exact time period, this relative volume is pathetic. Well, what do you get when relative volume is pathetic? You get whipsaws. You get price change algos running the show, right? So at this time of day, you could try to scalp off these. I'm not scalping off of them, but so right now, because I know nothing's really going on in here, well, let's see if this one works, right? So say if I was looking to get long, I would hold off right here and wait. And I'd be like, price change algo. But see, you got to be careful though, because if the big money's coming in, this thing could price change for 50 points. So it works until it doesn't work. 80 to 90% of the time, these algos are running the show. 10% of the time, 15% of the time, the big money's coming in. So it's a tricky situation sometimes. I think right now, as long as these aren't firing off, you could wait. So say if I was going to get in there, I'm going to wait for this to pull back now, because you see it spiking right now, and get a better price. And or wait for an opposing one. right? So say that one came up this first time, say that was my entry, I pull it, I'm like, I'm gonna wait for an opposing, and I get in down here versus up here. You would already been filled, technically, right? Get in when it spikes the other way. These are just ideas, guys. I don't have anything set in stone yet. We go over to my trade every day. Some advanced traders are using this, but if you're just learning these volume events and the rules, I wouldn't even have this price change. I'll go up right now. Learn what you're doing here, and then you can really hone it in, right? But that one worked too. There you go. So say I was looking to get in there. Only one of them was firing off, so that probably wouldn't have scared me. But look at that. How'd that work? Pretty good. So instead of getting in, say I was going to get in at 95, that's 10 points better. I'd be like, oh, okay, now I'll get in now. I should already been filled. Or you can wait for the opposing, then get in. I'm not doing anything yet because this setup is not an entry setup yet, but I'm just giving you guys examples how you can use that stuff. This Bookmap is absolutely incredible, and I keep telling you, it's like having your own trading firm working for you that keeps presenting you with these new tools, right? And it's not like you're getting, like all this stuff works together. It's not like you're adding new things to your trading that it's like it's disrupting what we were doing with this stuff. It's just enhancing what we're doing with this stuff. My traditional SI indicator setups and rules, right? It's just enhancing it. But this is advanced. I would not be messing with this right now until you know what you're doing if you're trying to learn my style. And even if you're not trading my style, it would behoove you to start watching these volume events, because if you don't, you're not getting all the information. I don't care how great of a trader you are, you don't know what's going on real time. It's the most important information you can watch. I don't know if I mentioned that. All right, I gotta take a breath here. All right, crude's ripping in my face, but this is not surprising me, and this is why I got out of some down at that area. Remember, I had 10 on, I got out of 3. It's a bullish market, right? I follow my rules though, so I put a trade on, an easy trade off of this event. If it stops me out, on to the next trade, guys. I'm playing the probabilities. An edge is nothing more than an indication of a higher probability. I had an Izzy zone up there. I got my volume event. I took it. I'm not stopped out yet, and that's why I got out of some down here. We just talked about it. Forgot what it was, but there was stuff down here because I am bullish this market. Doesn't mean I still took the short because it followed my rules for the trade. That's when you can get to that aspect in your trading, you're going to be a great trader, right? Because you just keep putting on. You don't judge yourself at the end of the day by your P&L. You judge yourself, did I follow my rules? Or did I pull a Mason? Actually, that's going to be a new verb. You pulled a Mason. Sorry, Mason, you brought it on yourself. Are you going to be a Mason? Are you going to pull a Mason, or did you follow your rules? If I stop out of this trade, I did nothing wrong. I did exactly what I was supposed to do. I got a volume event in my important area that failed at the time. Right at the top of this, I took the trade. Loses, on to the next trade. Over a series of trades, if you have an edge, you will be profitable. That's all you got to remember. It's hard. It's very hard. That's why trading is so hard. It's hard for people to take 3, 4, 5, 10 losses in a row with a particular strategy that has an edge and be like, oh yeah, I can't wait for the next one. No, that's where you shy away. You're like, oh my God, I can't take another loss. If you know you have an edge, you just keep putting the trade on. If you know you have an edge, that's the key. And I know this is the best edge I've ever seen, so that's why I keep putting on the damn trades. All right, so I don't even think I put my stop in for this. I got short at, I get short 38. My stop's at 86. It's almost there. No, 20 ticks away. Hold on here. Where is that at? Oh, that was number 88. So this was the Izzy trade. So remember, I got out of 3. 88. When it came down here, remember I said that was baby lug, and I'm so bullish this market. Any area starts to fail, so that was there. Daily value or baby lug. Remember, I got out of 3 there, and that was the bottom of this too. And I said, yeah, I'm gonna get out of a third of those, and that's why I did it, and it reacted there. So if it rips up, stops me out, I took off some with a little bit of a profit, and I can stop out of the rest, on to my next trade, on to my next edge. And that's how I do it, and that's how you should do it. Come up with your own strategies, come up with your own rules, and follow your rules if you know you have an edge, right? So like this, right? So now, oh, there you go. So this, see, I touched that ATR. So this is an official bullish setup. This setup, I'm already long from down here, been long. Now that's long. If it does that, I'm going to add to my bark and lick trades. I think there's more lick up here. If there's not, I'm not going to put on more lick. No, there's not really any heavy long. I'm not going to, so you got to judge with your lick trades, right? If that's your ultimate target, am I going to put on a lick trade for a target right there? No, what's going on here? Why is this liquidity pulling? Is there news, something out? These things are starting to get hammered too. This is trading like something just came out. You don't see liquidity pull like that unless there's some kind of news. It doesn't matter if I stop out of this, and I'm not long off of this event yet. It has to come back because that's my rules for the bark and lick. If I stop out of this, I'm breaking even off of this setup down here. Right? Something's going on though. You don't see the liquidity pull like that. But it didn't really pull in here, so maybe it was just the algo screwing around with the market. I don't know. But it's definitely something going on. Hey, guys, my stop's in. I don't care what's going on. If this comes down and tags my 55 or whatever my stop is, look where that's at. Then I'm out of the trade. 53.50. Right? But do you see me like panicking out right here? No, I force it to get the ATR below there, 53.50. And that's actually that yellow line right there. It should be moved up a little bit. I don't move my stops. I may start with this new tool. I may start moving them because this is dynamic, right? This is based on the ATR. I may start moving them a little bit, but right now it's going to just sit at 53.50. So as long as that doesn't, this can do this for the next 5 hours. I don't care. As long as it doesn't violate this event. And there's a way I'm still putting on the long. As long as this doesn't violate to the downside, that's that blue ATR line, I'm still going to put on bark, not lick, there's no lick up here, but a bark trade. I'm going to add to it. I already have bark on and lick. So what I was telling you to kind of determine, do I really want to put on a lick trade if it does this, and get in right here, if the lick's right here? That's my target. So I'm risking 40 points to make 4? No, I wouldn't put on that lick trade. If the lick was way up here, then you can judge risk-reward wise, right? It always rejects at the 90 level. Really? Always? Just every time it hits 90, you bet your house on it? You got to be a multi-billionaire then, or have. Doesn't always do anything, right? It might have a tendency, so you should be short then, if you always see something. But that doesn't jive. Doesn't always do anything. May have a tendency, one over another. So here's another example too. I'm still short this gold. This thing's whipsawing to death. And I guarantee you, like, let's look at price change. I'll bet you that's what's running the show right now. There you go. Take this one off. Let's take a look. What I tell my trade room too, even if you're not trading off of this or using it, at least it gives you peace of mind on what the hell's going on in here, right? So if I'm short this, I feel this is it's always been one of my flaws. Like I take things very personally, right? Obviously the market is not. I always joke there's a camera. Like traders always say, oh, they got a camera watching me. It feels that way, right? When you watch this stuff, you start to understand why you're being tortured. It's not because you're short, or it's not because I'm short and they love to torture me. It's because it's reacting to these price change algos. Boom, 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 boom. Doesn't make the sound, but I'm just showing you. Boom, boom. Another one. It varies how much it pulls back too, but it's definitely reacting right now. And look at the algos in here. Do you see them? Do you see it? If your market looks like a Christmas tree, you're going to get algoed in your trade. Meaning you're going to get tortured. So that's exactly why you make the market push outside of the volume event before you stop out of the trade, because it could do this for 5 hours. And you see why it's doing it. So am I trailing? I had this move in my favor. Did I trail my stop to break even? No, because I know this is what goes on 80-90% of the time. So does it mean the big money's not going to come in and push it out of here? Absolutely could. My stop's in there. If they can push it back through this event and get an ATR out of that zone, congratulations on my next trade. So if you start to view it more like a competition, where these guys, I always say this, because this is what's happening. These guys are trying to take your money. These algos are trying to take your money. What do you think feeds them? What do you think feeds the trading firms? It's you. So if you view it like, I'm not going to let you take my money on these price changes, you got to get it outside the zone, then you're like, for me, that competitive aspect of it stops you from making stupid mistakes, because it's like me versus them. Like, fine, you want to push it out of here? Let's see it. If not, you can do this for 5 hours. You're not gonna scare me out of my trade. So if you can come up with that mindset, you're going to do better. And then this kind of clarifies what the hell's going on now. Every time this thing spikes, the market rips the other way. That's price change algo, more incredible information from Bookmap. Like I tell you guys all the time, I would not even be trading nowadays if it wasn't for Bookmap. I'd be sitting in a doctor's waiting room right now, waiting to kiss his ass and try to sell him something. All right, any other questions? We're at the time. So I trail my stop to this event. If it comes back, this NASDAQ long I've been in for this entire webinar, off of this event here, just basically going to scratch it. Boom, boom, boom. Got long. Trail my stop to that. I stop out. On to my next event, next trade. If it holds, I'm going to take a long off of this as well. Hold meaning if it doesn't invalidate, that's this yellow line. I'm sorry, it's the ATR line. It's the short validation or the long invalidation. That's all in the spreadsheet that you can get access to as well via my site or via this site, Pulcinitrader.org, or you get it in my trade room. And then that's this price here. Oh, I didn't put it in that one. I put it in this one. So that invalidation price for a long, it needs to touch. I mean, you got to update this ATR. It automatically updates on the Zone Drawing Tool Pro. You guys will have access to. So I'll send out an email when it's ready. But if you have the basic, you're gonna be able to beta test the Pro, and it's gonna be any day now. So that's the new ATR. So that setup invalidates as a long at 57. It validates as a short at the same price. Right, so as long as this, and that's basically right here. See that? That's the blue line. That's the ATR. That's how I judge these events from watching a million of them. I've determined that's the best way to judge if these are bearish or bullish. So as long as this doesn't touch that, and it does that, it already did that on the upside, I'm going to put on more longs here off of that event. All right, that's all I got, guys. A lot of ranting today, but hopefully you guys are learning and stop making the same stupid mistakes that the algos keep taking your money for. That would be great. That's my goal in doing these webinars, is to teach you what's going on, and it's my way of getting back at the same entities that knocked me out of the game, right? This is my kind of payback. I'm teaching you what, the algos and these firms knocked me out of the game too. I was a multi-million-dollar trader. Not anymore. I'll be back there, especially with this information, right? But it's when you're trading on your own, it's a long haul. I am in talks with the firm. Actually, I got to sign the document today. We are going to automate with a firm this reversion trade, and then we're going to have exact stats and everything. So that's happening soon. But I don't have a trading firm backing me anymore. If I would have had this information when I was making millions, I would have made 10 times that, right? This is it, in my opinion. So that's all I can tell you. I tell you that 100 times a day. All right, have a great week. I will see you guys. I do this twice a day in my webinar, every day. If you want to learn it, come on over. Hopefully you can get a verbal lashing too. I'll see you guys next Thursday. Thanks.